person sees all.
This is so exciting. Head to Carefree Observatory, subscribe, and check out his video. There's a surprise waiting. Here's an extract.
Well, good news. I just got a phone call and I'm over here back at my office to meet truck driver with my new OTA. My new Meade LX 200 tube, 16 inch.
Whoa. Yeah, so now we're at the Apennine Mountains. I can't hold my excitement. So look at the structures beside the Apennine Mountains. Do you see over to the right of the Apennine Mountains? And look very carefully. It's beautiful. It's connected objects that have an actual smart way of connection. If you start analyzing and looking at these very close, it's the beginning of a way to be able to see the surface. And we've been doing this for a couple of years, profiting from that technique.
We're going to invert. No, we're going to do a negative. What's that going in the ground? This is sinus iridum. You see colors at the back.
I can't be more thankful for all the support you people are giving the channel and the interest, because there is something up there on the moon. I think everyone knows that, even the trolls. But in general, it's straight up filming the moon. So when something is seen moving by, whether it be pixelated or not, let me tell you one thing. We could clearly see that it's moving. I'm not getting it clear enough. Sure, I agree with that. That's the whole point. But some people aren't even getting what I'm getting. So, Aristarchus crater. Look at the surface when we dim down the lights, just bringing down the exposure like anyone does with any simple camera, and there's activity. So the activity is the hardest thing to point out and to witness and to understand. So, you take your time and you look at it and you slow things down and you come to the conclusion that, is it really the sun that's refracting off the surface in all these areas? You sort of wonder. Sure, maybe the sun is a part of it, but all right, let's get into really interesting details. You're looking at clouds on the surface of the moon. Don't ask me what type of clouds they are. Sulfur clouds, natural clouds, unnatural clouds, mist hazes, optical illusions from our eyes. Could be. I'm not going to fight anybody. But there's something, happening. And that's that the UFOs are going in and out of this mist or haze. That's something I tried to prove in the research, which was very helpful, seems to me, in concluding if something's up there on the moon. Look at what we're looking at. It's incredible to see the object moving, whether it be natural or not, whether it be a storm. Some people say, yeah, but Bruce, it might be a storm. It doesn't mean it's biological creatures. Hairpiece. But in general, when the surface is shown this way, how can you deny that there are clouds up there? Another thing, very seriously, triangular craters do not exist. Therefore, what we are looking at are not craters. Here's the surface, Apollo 11 supposed landing area. Look at the beautiful different layers, mists and hazes also on the surface hiding certain areas. And when you go back each time, well, there's whole areas miles wide that are shown and seen more each moon phase. And not just each moon phase, each time you go up to see the moon. So what is telling us that the surface is changing? There's definitely something changing on the surface, but what exactly is it? It's the mists, hazes, clouds. You have to take everything into consideration. Two moving objects, right? The parallax, we're going to see an optical illusion, things lying down. Okay, but aside from that, there are structures on the surface, and of course, a lot of activity. Lights, connections, it's endless. The findings are endless. Here's Copernicus crater. We can see it pretty close, that there's a lot of color on the surface. And what fascinates me are all the hazes, right? There are hazes and mists coming from, and not just mist. We're going to, never mind mists, we're talking clouds, right? One of my favorites, up to, hey guys, 6, 7 objects now landing on the surface of the moon, no jokes. These are descending, whatever they are. They are lit, some of them are not lit, some of them appear and light up, some of them are hidden, and you see at the back, very important, are the smoke trails. This one, what can you say? Directional change of the beam of light that's coming from the craft, and I've showed it in the past, projectiles being shot out of these objects, right? Whatever it may be, we're going to say projectiles, because they are projectiles as they are traveling across the surface of the moon at high velocity speeds. Slowing down the images and footage, you can see it. Here again, an interaction with these big clouds on the surface where you see these lights going towards those clouds. Well, I've showed you the smoke spraying, and to be fair, I'm not going to say smoke spraying. Let's just call it a UFO with a trail at the back. We're going to go see it very close up. But first, remember this one? To the right, there's a star. It's over my house. And to the left, Orion, by the way. And to the left, this giant object with a smoke or cloud or haze around it, but right in the line of the chemtrail that you can see over there on top. Why do they spray? Well, could it not be the same looking down on the moon, having objects or, I don't know, UFOs spraying on the surface? But there's some type of reason that they're doing so. And look, I've showed it to you like this. Getting in close wasn't easy. Let's do so, though. Now we're going to get in seriously close. I know you're all going to appreciate this. And take a look at exactly what we're looking at. And notice the UFOs coming from different angles. There's no explanation here. Just look. Inverted, no manipulation, no filter bullcrap or nothing. It's straight up magnification, adjustment of exposure. Take a look. Yeah, something's happening with all software around the world. As we're approaching the end of the world, it seems the software is ending too. What's up with this? Are we all like on a time limit or something? Yeah, nothing more beautiful than this one. I really love it. Seeing it right there. Look, it's emanating this massive plume of smoke behind it, and other objects are going to it. A light comes out from the back of it. It's just absolutely incredible. We're right along Clavius Crater here. This is the closest I've shown it so far. Just ghostly, eh? Aren't they ever ghostly? But I don't know. I don't see any malice in them. I don't feel they are anyways. And I think it's not like the UFOs that everyone's talking about. These are different types, different findings that are not mentioned. Rare, exclusive findings on the surface. Now, how crazy would I be to present this as a UFO? Have you people ever seen UFOs with smoke coming out of the back of it? No, obviously not. Some type of creature, right? Looks alive. And if it's not alive, it's controlled light. Some people say often to me, well, Bruce, there could be drones on the moon. Of course there could be drones on the moon. There could be Costco's on the moon. There could be ducks walking around on the moon. People in parks. From what I understand is the moon has an atmosphere, and we have no idea what's underneath that atmosphere because we can't see it. Earth's geocorona extends the moon itself, my friends. And what is the geocorona? That's how far Earth's atmosphere extends out into space, as they are still doing studies about that. And by the way, this is freshly being done right now and just recently finished a few studies of the moon's atmosphere. They're still studying the moon's atmosphere very in deep depth, in other words, because they're trying to find out exactly what's up there. We hear of gases being up there. So if we're seeing something spraying on the surface of the moon, what would an airplane look like from the moon? You know, what would it look like if we were trying to, with a big scope, zoom into it to see if they were spraying over Earth? How many layers of clouds are there? Do you guys have an idea? So from the moon, to be able to see on the surface of Earth, boy, you got many layers of clouds. Some areas have permanent clouds there all the time. Hyginus Crater.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we've had a problem.